Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday and an energetic start to tonight's live stream, taking a look at That's Metal to My Ears, or as my nephews call it, marshmallows for some reason. But hello to you guys in the live chat room tonight. How you guys doing? I can see you in there. We've got, Laura, Vera, Suzanne, Charlie, Lucy, Ro, again, Tammy, Bella, Georgie, Dawn, Joe, Melissa, Ro again, Susie Q, Ro's just doing loads of comments all at the same time. Debbie, Tammy, Split Image 137, Charlie, Muriel, Tian, Julie, Anna, I can see Karen in there as well. It's going through too quickly, but hello everybody. Thank you for joining me for the live stream Tuesday. Now, we do have a new record attempt that's going to be going on tonight. So I was going to say thank you for joining me, and it's very important that you do join me. And as you come through the door, if you could hit a thumbs up, that would be massively appreciated, because we hit a new record on Saturday for the likes goal. We hit a new record last Tuesday for the likes goal, and tonight we're going to be aiming for another record as well. So let me get that up on screen so we can see what we're going to be aiming for. Tonight it is 475 likes that we're going to be aiming for tonight. So yeah, we'll see how close we get to that. But yeah, hit that thumbs up, and let me get the live likeometer up on screen so we can see exactly what's going on with that so far. 209, which means we're looking for, just jumped up quickly, too fast for me to be able to do the maths, so I'm going to say we're going to be looking for more people to hit the thumbs up. So I suppose if it was 220, that would be 255 maybe, something like that. I do not know, and it's jumped up again. So yeah, 475 is an odd number to try and figure it all out, but I'll wait until it gets a little bit closer, maybe to 300, because then it'll be a lot easier. But if we even get there, if you can hit that thumbs up, would be great. Right now, the reason that we're doing this, and that I'm even able to do this in the first place, is because of my patrons. So thank you all. You know who you are, and for regular viewers, you will know that their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout the live stream, and they have done, always have, always will. So yeah, a massive thank you to you guys, and for requesting That's Metal to My Ears to open up tonight's live stream with. Now, we do have the cover video that's currently being voted on. Miles Away has been requested for, I don't know how many live streams in a row now, but it's back again, and maybe tonight is the night where we do have a little bit of Miles Away by Winger, obviously my cover of Winger's song, but we will see. The other song is Silence is Broken, from memory, because I can't see it. I can only ever see the one that's in the lead, and it is Miles Away in the lead. It's not Miles Away in the lead, but it is the song Miles Away that is in the lead with 56% of the vote. So we will see how that goes. Yeah, so some people have, or somebody has been really wanting to hear that over the last few weeks. It's back again. So in tonight's live stream, I mean, I'm underprepared as always, so we'll have to see what happens. I don't think there's going to be a troll corner, because I haven't made a note of anything, and I can't remember anything recently. I am quite lucky with all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's only occasionally that trolls come along and leave a comment. So yeah, I don't think we've got any of that tonight. We will have a picture corner. We've got one picture that we're going to be taking a look at a little bit later on. We've got the cover video, and if we do hit 475 likes for tonight, then we're going to be having Phil Jam number 136. Is that correct? It is. I did change it just before we went live. So yeah, 136 Phil Jams. Almost. We've got 135 that we've done. Maybe one more. We will see if we hit that target tonight. Big target. But yeah, fingers crossed for that. I can see that there's already been a couple of donations, so thank you for those, Paul. And yeah, I do have donations actually to draw your attention to that happened right at the end of the last live stream, I think because we were doing the Phil Jam, it was all kicking off, and then somebody donated, I think, on PayPal. So then I wanted to make sure I got to that one before then ending the live stream, but then I didn't see the ones in the Super Chat window. So I will address those. But before I do, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. Maybe leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, all of that kind of stuff. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified for all of the videos. But for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal. And that there's a PayPal link in the description below if you want to do things that way. And yeah, like I've said before, that the donations in the Super Chat window, the percentage that YouTube takes from those, they take it instantly. So it means that if you accidentally type in a wrong number that's just a lot more than you were ready to donate or able to donate, even though you don't have to donate anything, if you do accidentally type in a wrong number, YouTube is going to take that money straight away. So you're going to have a few problems because I can't refund it, but I can do on PayPal. Anyway, oh, the other thing is, and I am going to address these donations in the Super Chat window that have come through from Paul. So thank you for this, Paul. There's a donation for $2, and the message is, let's have fun tonight, spike those likes, all y'all. And then Paul has donated $2 again and says, awesome, now 373,000 subscribers, rock. So thank you for that, Paul. And yes, indeed, we have now hit 373,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you guys for subscribing. And yeah, I did write the title for tonight's live stream as 372, but I think it's just gone over to 373, so that is great. It has been a bit crazy recently, but things are starting to get back to relative normality with the amount of subscribers and views on the channel. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy recently. It's been very difficult to keep up, but yeah, hopefully things will just get back to the way that they normally are. Obviously it's great to have a spike every now and again, but it was a bit of a prolonged spike of maybe, I don't know how many thousand people that started getting involved, but I mean, the more the merrier. It just happened very quickly. So yeah, 373,000, which is a nice number, and I'm quite happy with that number, but we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. So yes, crazy number of subscribers so far. Thank you for that, Paul. And the donations that came in at the end of the last live stream, they were, first of all, from Rick, who donated $20. So thank you for that, Rick. And that's Rick Laviolette. And that was just a straight up donation. So thank you for that, Rick. And Orlando donated $5 right at the end of the last live stream and says, was that a special effect? So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think that was probably relating to me doing the volume swells on the guitar. So it wasn't really a special effect. It's just swelling the volume in and out with your pedal that I'm using. But you can do it. I used to do it the old school way with using your volume. So you pick with the right hand and then you roll on and off the volume with your little finger. And you kind of have to cup your finger around it so that you can just rotate your wrist and then blend in that note. So you pick the string and then you blend in the volume, or bring in the volume, which will blend in that note. So you don't hear the pick, and it gives it more of a violin quality. But yeah, so that's what I was doing. It wasn't really a special effect. It's just allowing that pedal, which obviously is a lot easier to do nowadays with technology, but you can fade in that pedal in and out. So that's just what I was doing on the last live stream and the last Phil Jam. I think that's what Orlando was relating to or referring to with that particular question. But thank you for that. And Guitar Tim donated $5 as well. So thank you for that, Tim. And again, that was right at the end of the last live stream. So I am going to get up to date now with the donations that have happened over on PayPal. And there was one that came through probably right at the end of the live stream, or maybe a little bit afterwards. It was Gabrielle, and this was therefore on Sunday morning, and it was £8.32. So thank you for that donation. And Gabrielle says, enjoy your work, watching from Canada, or at least it has a picture of the Canadian flag. So thank you for that, Gabrielle. And we've had another donation from Dawn, who's donated £7.60. So thank you for that, Dawn. And the message is, please do an analysis of Phoebe Snow. She sang and played guitar and her voice. Wow. Here's one video. So thank you for that, Dawn. And by the way, you don't have to donate to request anything. Just put it in the comments section of the YouTube, of any YouTube video, but whichever one you happen to be watching. And yeah, I'll have a look at that and make a note of the donations. Obviously, the request list is very long, but yeah, I'm charging people for analysis videos, or requesting that people do that. I just get through the list. So yeah, don't send anything my way for an analysis video, because it's not how I roll. But thank you, Dawn, for this, and yeah, for that message. I'll make a note of that and the video as well. And next we have Amy, who has donated £4.56. So thank you for that, Amy. And the message is, hi Phil, great Phil Jam on Saturday's live stream, Amy. So thank you for that. And I can't remember which one I think it was was it one that was a little bit heavier? I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, thank you for the kind words. And Michael has donated £10 as well. So thank you for that, Michael. And that is a straight up donation. And that's just confirmation of Michael's donation. And then Nicole has donated £15 as well. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, hello, Phil. Bonsoir. Here are the words of an old French song. I'm thinking of you, I see you, I adore you at all times, in all places, to wait of the warmth of spring, with wings of Pegasus. Well, maybe that end bit isn't part of the song, but it then says hugs and rock forever. So thank you for that, Nicole. And there's been another one that's come in, and this is from Susan, who has donated £50. So thank you, Susan, for that donation. And that is a straight up donation. And then Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 373,000 subscribers. What are some basic vocal techniques that can, potentially in brackets, make someone a good singer? Rock. So thank you for that. And I mean, in terms of vocal techniques, I mean, when you start talking about techniques, I think when you're just starting out, the most important thing that you can do, and certainly the most important thing that I thought it was to do, was hitting pitches accurately. And I know that people are going to say, oh, but nowadays you don't have to do that because you can just do it with software, which is true. But it didn't change the fact, because when I was learning to sing, it wasn't this easy, and you couldn't just take your voice and put it where you wanted to. So you actually had to learn to kind of hit the notes. So that's what I tried to do and spent a long time doing. So I would say hitting pitches is still something that artistically I want to do myself. I don't want to rely on software to do it for me. So yeah, I would say if you can sing a scale, or just if you play the guitar, or even if you can play a piano, or just hold down a key and try and replicate that note yourself. And to begin with, you want to keep it in a comfortable range, so that you're not trying to hit notes that are way out of your range. You want to hit notes that are comfortable for you. So where you talk, and try and make a noise where you talk, like I am now. If I take this note here, it's not even a note but a pitch. I'm just talking here. So if I go in and around this place, I mean, you can start off doing that, no, and try and hold a note. Try and make it consistent, like a robot, which I say in lots of videos about trying to talk like a Dalek or something from Doctor Who. You want to be able to hold a pitch, and once you can do that, then there's no reason why you can't hold other pitches. And that's all singing is. It's just maintaining a pitch. So yeah, just get used to doing that. And when you have a note that you're holding, eventually, if I'm going na 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 na, and you're keeping that pitch, eventually you'll be able to go na 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 na, and you'll start to be able to move it around, and not even do a scale, and just go ah, and I can't help but put vibrato on it. But you can start to go up and down. The vibrato thing is something that you can work out later on. But going and not even really worrying about hitting pitches. I know that I'm kind of doing an octave there, but you can just move your voice around and experiment and see kind of what it feels like. Because especially people who haven't learned to sing before, it's all just a learning experience, and being able to just learn how your own voice works, because that's something that I've found in the past, especially watching vocal instructors and different channels on YouTube. I mean, I try and get knowledge wherever I can, and thankfully now with the internet you can type something in and find out a lot about it. So I'll often go on YouTube and just watch different vocal coaches, see what they're talking about. But I still think that in my case, every vocal coach that I've watched hasn't addressed what I can't do. Like, everybody knows their voice, and I know that people might watch videos of me singing, or my cover videos, or listen to my music, and they'll say, oh, you can already sing, so why do you feel like you've got to learn to sing better? Or and this is something that it's a lifetime pursuit. Like I said about playing the guitar, like when playing the guitar, you can spend hours and hours on learning how to play and play faster, every day, going back to it. But if you want to learn to sing really well and master your voice, you've got to do the same thing. So more often than not, like in my case, I got rid of the guitar practice because now I had to try and get these vocal cords under control to even do that, to be able to go, and find the octaves. Like, how do you get your vocal cords to get to an octave higher? And it's muscle memory. The same thing that allows you to play the guitar is the same thing that will allow you to sing. It's just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So that's it. I would say that trying to hit pitches is a really important part of it, and just start there. And then once you start getting used to that, you want to try and now put a little bit more into your sound, but by using a diaphragm. And this is something that, this isn't going to turn into like a vocal live stream, but it's the difference between, I talk probably, because I'm used to, I talk quite loud anyway. So I think I talk with quite a lot of, or a relatively high amount of compression in my voice, because I'm making a lot of noise. Whereas there are some people who talk a little bit more like this, and you can't really hear, you might have not even heard that. You can't really hear the voice because they're in vocal fry, which is more this kind of sound like this. It just reminded me of an advert that whenever people go into vocal fry, for some reason, with my ears, it just doesn't sit well. My ears don't like it. I don't like the sound of vocal fry when people are talking. So there's this advert for reverb at the moment, and the guy always goes into vocal fry at the end of his sentences. So he says something like, looking for a new guitar amp? Try reverb. Verb. And he says it like that. Try reverb. And he goes into vocal fry at the end of every sentence. And this is why it's annoying. Or at least it's annoying to me, because before he's finished his sentence, I know the last sound he's going to make is going to be a word with that going on. So rather than just saying, looking for an amp, try reverb. Saying it normally, he kind of goes, try reverb. And you can hardly hear the word because of the vocal fry. So, But anyway, vocal fry, that's a really good thing as well, technique-wise, to get your vocal cords relaxed and, to get a really pure connection. And like I said, singing is a lifetime pursuit, and that's why I still practice singing every day. And there are things that I still can't do with my voice that I want to be able to do with my voice. And this is the thing about watching vocal coaches, is they're not teaching you individually. And I think everybody's different. And I think, with guitar, and the size of people's hands, that's unique to them. So you have to teach everybody in an individual way. And it's the same with vocals, because I'd say 99% of the videos, when people are talking about, using mixed voice and increasing range and all that kind of stuff, they say, okay, just make a sound like a cat. And they kind of do a sound of a cat. And I can't do the sound of a cat. So they're saying, and then when you're doing that, if you analyze which notes they are, they're really high, they're up there in the male tenor range. So that's the way to unlock your range. But then I think, well, what if your vocal cords can't do that in the first place? What if you can't imitate a cat? I can do a lot of things, but unfortunately, imitating a cat is not one of them. So yeah, I'm still working at it, and this is just really trying to unlock my mixed voice. That's what I'm trying to do at the moment. But I can still do a lot of things. I can use my head voice, I use chest voice, and I can't do falsetto, but instead of doing falsetto, I use head voice and go, ah, ah, and I put air into my head voice to make it sound like falsetto. So I again, this is me using my voice and working out the way to get a particular sound, the way that my own voice works. So a vocal coach wouldn't tell you to do that. They'll say, oh, go into your falsetto. And I'll say, well, I can't do falsetto. And they'll say, oh, well, what? And then they'll try and get me into it. But I just use head voice and put air into it. And this is why when you're talking about falsetto, head voice, reinforced falsetto, and head voice with air, it can be really difficult to pinpoint exactly what somebody's doing. Because if I go, ah, like that, people will say I'm using falsetto, but I know that I'm not. I'm kind of making people think that I am. So yeah, everybody's different, everybody's unique. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. So my first port of call is hitting pitches. Try and hit a pitch. Once you can do that, then you can start to build on top of that, because at least nobody wants to have loads of technique and using a diaphragmatic support and all that kind of stuff, but then they can't hit notes accurately. So even if you're just singing in a talking way, like this, at this kind of volume, or even less than this, just going, ah, just doing that. If you aren't softly spoken, then just use your talking voice to hit pitches first, and then you can start bringing in the whole diaphragm thing, which is where you then start to add more pressure. You're holding air behind your vocal cords. So I don't know how to explain this really, but if it's like I tell you what happens is when I've stubbed my toe on something and it's really painful, I'd go like that, because it's there's a lot of pain going on, especially the way that I stub my toes. But anyway, I won't get into it. But yeah, it wasn't very nice. So anyway, I didn't break my toe, but my nail was no longer attached to my toe when I did it. And unfortunately, it was my big toe. But so once that happens, you don't have to do that exactly, but imitate that happening and the pain that you might feel. That going, doing that is holding air behind your vocal cords. Obviously, you don't want to be that strained, but that's the principle of using your diaphragm and singing, is you're holding back air so that once you have that and you go, when you then let out the air, it's at a lot louder volume now, because there's pressure there's compression. So yeah, that's what it is. And once you're starting to hit pitches, then you can work on your breath support, your diaphragmatic support, and using the right amount of air. And this is what I say about the greatest singers of all time. They've had perfect airflow, which has meant that they're mastering that bit so that they're holding back exactly the right amount, or they're holding back air and letting exactly the right amount to flow through their cords to get them to vibrate, but not so much so that there's too much air, which dries them out, which means that if you're forever singing with strain and using too much air, that's where your vocal cords just give up, because they dry out, because there's too much air. You're drying them off effectively. So yeah, dry vocal cords are not very good things. There's got to be some kind of moisture, or there's got to be hydration of them for them to function properly. And then the other thing is that you might find that you're clearing your throat all the time because the vocal cords need some kind of either mucus or some kind of help to get back to functioning properly. So yeah, even coughing, that's another thing that can happen sometimes when people are straining, that they can sing a vocal phrase or be coughing between songs, and ideally you don't want to be doing that. So yeah, this is it. It's having perfect vocal technique with airflow. I mean, it's such a huge thing, and you can just tell when somebody's doing it properly because they're not singing at a massive volume, but it just seems so easy and they're just floating up to notes. And yeah, it's great to watch and listen to great singers doing it. So thank you for that, Tammy. And there's been another donation that has come through from Steve for £5. So thank you for that, Steve. And the message is overdubbing similar or the same as auto-tune or pitch correction? So thank you for that, Steve. And I mean, I would say that overdubbing, I mean, that's something where you're literally just like punching in for maybe a word or a few words, or there could be a singer who sung a particular phrase, and when they come in, or when they sang it the first time, they missed a note and it wasn't very accurate. So then when they come in, they want to now just hit that end phrase, that last note, and that's what kind of overdubbing is. I mean, you can overdub everything if you want to. You like with bands, sometimes there can only be one guitarist in the band, but on the recording you have overdubs, which means that you play different guitar lines so that it makes the sound a lot fuller when you're listening to the album and releasing a song, but it means that live you might not necessarily get all of those guitar parts because you've only got one guitarist doing it. So yeah, unless there's backing track elements going on. So yeah, overdubbing is a totally different thing. Now, as to whether overdubbing is the same as auto-tune or pitch correction, I would say that I don't consider them the same. In fact, I consider them very different things, because overdubbing, if I was singing a chorus, for example, and I sang it and I didn't quite nail a particular note, and I wanted to overdub it or just sing it again, but technically it would be an overdub because the rest of the song has been recorded. And this is something, I know that I'm getting distracted here, but this is something called comp taking, or having comp takes. And these are when you record either a verse or a chorus or even the whole song multiple times. So you might do it 3 or 4 times, or 5 or 6, however many you want to do. And you now go through it taking the sections that you like the most of the verse and the chorus. And you're now taking segments of 4 or 5 takes, effectively. So that's called comp takes, composite takes in full. But that's something where you have sung all of that. You're just taking all of the best parts of it. So again, I still, because some people say, we should outlaw comp takes as well. But my view of that is that the person has sung that. It's not, you're not now replacing their voice with something that they couldn't do. They're just choosing the bits that they like. And I've had this before where you're singing a particular line, and it's not that it's out of tune or it sounds bad, but there's something about it, either the phrasing or the way that you said it. You think, actually, I preferred the second time I did that rather than the third time, or rather than the fourth time, however many times you do it. So it's artistic choices that you're making about your voice. And I know that, some people maybe, think that people are just singing something over and over and over again until they hit the right note. But I don't think that's the case with comp takes, because if you can't hit the notes, this is now where you need to create something that never existed. So with comp takes, that all exists. If I was to sing a song 3 or 4 times, it would be me singing it 3 or 4 times, and whatever the comp take is of that is my voice on those different takes. But if I couldn't hit a particular note, and it doesn't even have to be a high note, it could be a note that's well within my range, but I just can't get it and I'm sharp or I'm flat, that's where you get auto-tune or pitch correction coming in, because auto-tune will snap it to the note, so it's created a new sound that I wasn't able to produce. Exactly the same with pitch correction. That will now be a manual process, so the producer, or myself, because I do everything myself, I would grab the voice and the note that I wasn't able to hit, and I would move it to where I wasn't able to place it myself. So it's creating a new voice that didn't exist and doesn't exist. So this is why I see them as totally different things. And I don't use auto tune or pitch correction, so I'm not moving things around on a screen. I just sing it. And if there's a part that, like with cover videos, there'll be particular phrases that obviously another singer has sung, and you're trying to do a version of their song, but you're trying to do the same thing that they did with their voice, and everybody's different. So it will take what I call rehearsal and practice in order to try and do it the same way as they did it. So yeah, that's all I've done really, is like with all my cover videos, I just practiced, particular lines that I found were a little bit more difficult than others, and I just kind of leave it as it is. And I did spend a lot of time hitting pitches, learning to do that. So that's just how I've done it. And I do find that with that last video that we looked at, where I just explained about pitch correction, and we watched that video where we were looking at the screen and the amount of editing that's going on nowadays as the industry standard. The amount of editing that's going on just to a phrase that might last 2 or 3 seconds, it is massively quicker to, well, I think, to just sing it. And, if you listen to it the whole way through and you think, oh yeah, it's fine, then great, use it. But there might be a chorus where it wasn't as good. So just sing the chorus again. It's so much quicker than going through and editing. But I know that, I think it's maybe more the case now that there are a lot of singers who haven't worked at pitch to the same kind of level that certainly I did, but other singers would have done back in the day, where they didn't have these tools that they could use, like digital pitch correction, just dragging it to where they wanted it to go. So you had to work at it. It was just, a non-negotiable, because you're up against everybody else who's working just as hard as you are to hit pitches. It wasn't all the case that now every singer's put through the same pitch correction software or plugin. So I see them. So Steve, overdubbing, comp takes as well, I see those as totally different to auto-tune or pitch correction, because comp takes and overdubbing don't create new vocals that never existed, whereas that's what auto-tune and pitch correction does. So anyway, even though pitch correction is really subtle now, but it still didn't exist. It's still being created by a person dragging the voice to somewhere it wasn't. So anyway, thank you for that, Steve. And Debbie has donated £10 as well, so thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on 373,000 subscribers. Love the Andrea McCardle Annie analysis. Do you think an artist's looks over actual singing talent has led to today's wide use of pitch correction in the music industry? You're amazing. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that, Debbie. I mean, as potentially, contentious as it may be, I think it's a fact that is the case, because you've got the whole Milli Vanilli thing, where they got 2 guys who were models and got other voices in the studio. So they got other singers to sing, and then they pretended that it was Milli Vanilli, these 2 guys who were doing the vocals. So, I mean, there's your proof that the music industry, the mainstream music industry, is looking at image first, and then, right, whatever we can do to make a good sound, we will do that. So that's what they did in that particular case. Now, where things have changed, as you guys know, we have pitch correction and auto-tune. So it means that you can still do that, get people that look good, but now you've got something that is like above the law. So it's that, but that whole Milli Vanilli thing, that went to court, and people got their money back because it was basically fraud, false advertising. But now, with pitch correction, I've always said, well, where's the line? If Milli Vanilli now were around, would it be okay for them to use auto-tune and pitch correction, even though, like we've just stated, that's not their voices? It's now creating a voice that sounds like them singing, but it isn't actually them singing. This is where, that line is really blurred now. So I think the only difference is that now the technology exists to take people who might look a particular way and make them sound like singers. You can do that now. So I think that if you look at the mainstream music industry, it is so looks based, and looking at the top artists like Rihanna, for example. And when I say it looks based, I think it's also about kind of looking a particular way and probably wearing less and less clothing. But this is all the image thing. I mean, this is the mainstream industry. It's about making money, and they know what sells. It's not just the sound that people are listening to, it's what they're looking at, in a mainstream industry kind of way. Obviously, I'm not really into the mainstream industry. As you can tell, being an independent musician myself, I'd like to just see what I'm doing is totally independent of everything else going on. All that noise of, image and having to show lots of, skin and all that kind of stuff. So I very much I'm only kind of into that to kind of make a point about it. I'm never going to be one of these people that is really into the kind of top 10. And I mean, some of the song titles as well that you see nowadays, that they obviously know what sells. And if people saw, like back in the 60s or the 70s, like what was going on nowadays in the charts, I mean, they'd have a heart attack. Back in those days, as my dad has said, back in the day, the Beatles saying, "I want to hold your hand," that was like, whoa, it's like a bit risky or risque. But the thought of holding, a girl's hand was like, it's back in those days, that was seen as quite a big thing. So like I said, people back then, well, I suppose if you could use a time machine, then they'd have a heart attack. But as people have grown up with the music industry, they've realised and seen it all change. So anyway, in a word, I'd say yes, it is very much about looks. Whether it's more about looks than actual singing talent, I don't know, because we only ever get to hear the pitch corrected or auto-tune version of somebody's voice. So it's very difficult to gauge talent nowadays because you can't hear the voice. So we don't know how good or bad most singers are. So unless you actually get to hear them entirely live, which of course we know as well that even nowadays going and seeing a band live, it means that they are there. It doesn't mean that they are singing live and what you're hearing is actually their voice. So it's a very complicated situation nowadays. But anyway, Robin has donated £15.27. Thank you for that, Robin. And that is a straight up donation, so thank you for that. Robert has donated £7.64 as well. Thank you for that, Robert. And the message is, Phil, I'd love to see you do a tour of the US and make St. Paul, Minnesota one of your stops. So thank you for that, Robert. And I'm sure at some point in the future I will be over in the USA. I don't really know where all the places are in the USA because it's a very big place. And the UK is quite a small place in comparison, so I don't know where everything is. But I mean, I was almost there this year at the beginning of June, but that didn't quite work out with myself and Taj's schedule, or kind of organising that, getting visas, all that kind of stuff. So it almost worked out, but I'm sure I'll be over there at some point in the future. But thank you for that, Robert. And Karen has donated £3.82. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on hitting 372,000 subscribers. Amen to what you said about learning how to sing by hitting pitches and muscle memory rather than technological manipulation. I can't make the sound of a cat because I'll scare Chipper. Anyway, thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And I thought that was going to say you're going to be scaring Chipper away, but then it says anyway. So my eyes were going too fast for my brain there. But thank you, Karen, for that. And the thing is, like I say, I can do a lot of things with my voice, and I know that I can do things that other people can't do with their voice. Making ridiculous sounds, which I've made on the live streams before. But if I was trying to make the sound of a cat, and I know that the way that I'd do it would not be the way that the vocal coach is doing it. And if I'm like that kind of sound, I don't know whether you even heard that, but that's me. Again, I'm getting the sound of doing, like making a cat noise, but I'm not doing it how I should be doing it. I'm kind of cheating and, building up loads of pressure behind my vocal cords. And the point of making this cat sound is because it should be a relaxed way to make a high note. But I can do it in a very not relaxed way if I really had to try and make the sound of a cat. But I know that that's certainly not what vocal instructors are advising you do. So, building up loads of tension and then getting that little sound to come out. But I know the principle of what they're talking about, but it's just getting your vocal cords to do it. That's the nightmare. So yeah, but like I said, if people are experimenting with their voices and trying different things, like in that video where I was kind of talking and I was going, making that kind of sound, for getting a really kind of deep sound with my voice. I don't even know where that is or how I'm doing that. But yeah, all these different things that people can do with their voices that if I was trying to teach somebody to do that, I wouldn't know how to teach them because I can just do that and it is what it is. So same thing with, unfortunately, the cat noise. People say, oh, we'll do that. And they're assuming that everyone can do what they do. But I think it's quite a normal thing. But I can do that deep, I don't know, growl type noise, but I can't do the sound of a cat, apart from in the wrong way. Anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And I can see that there have been a few donations in that super chat window, so thank you for that. And by the way, we're aiming for a new record tonight. I should have mentioned this a bit more, but we're aiming for 475 likes tonight. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be massively appreciated because we need every single thumbs up we can get. We are almost at 400, which means we're then looking for another 75 people and 76 people. So yeah, if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. It would be a new record for a Tuesday night. At some point, we've got to hit the plateau of everybody tuning in, hitting the thumbs up, and then everybody tuning in again and hitting the thumbs up, but then it not being enough. So yeah, at some point, like I have said, things have started to get back to normal on the channel, kind of slowing down, which is great because it means that I can keep up with everything a little bit more with emails, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, in terms of getting thumbs up, we're looking for as many people as possible. Maybe we can get a spike of the likes going on because now we are up to 408. So thank you for that spike. But we don't have very long left of the live stream. Maybe just under half an hour, something like that. If we do hit the target, we're going to be having a fill jam at the end of the live stream. So back into the super chat window, we have a donation from Les, who has donated $10. Thank you for that, Les. The message is, Phil, do you ever perform your original music in pubs/clubs or pubs with a band? If so, would you ever or have you live stream one of those performances? Would love to see you rock out in a live setting. So thank you for that, Les. And yes, I used to play in and around London and Maidenhead, my local area, but London was a bit more of a kind of trek for us to get into London, but there are lots of venues in there. So yeah, we went into London and yeah, we did a UK tour as well. But the problem is that for original music, which I play, you don't get paid for that. So it means that, yeah, we kind of did it for as long as possible. I mean, my first original band was when I was 23 and we probably called it a day when I was maybe 30 or something like that. So yeah, maybe 7 years of playing live, playing at different kind of festivals and venues in and around London, and then kind of in and around England. We even did the Surface Unsigned Festival, which was the biggest unsigned competition in the UK, and we finished third in that, which then we went on a UK tour because of that. But yeah, that's just all. That was all playing live, and there was, I think it was like maybe 8 months. Because it's like the biggest competition in the UK. I don't know whether they've changed the name of it now, but it means that you have bands from lots of different cities, Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, London. They're all in the same competition. So it means that you have thousands, I mean, it might have been tens of thousands of bands all in this competition playing throughout the country. So eventually, when you then get to about 6 or 7 months into it. So you're playing all the time basically and getting people along, and you're being judged by industry professionals, even though they say that. But yeah, I think it's all just a little bit kind of built up to be something that actually it wasn't really, because you think, well, who are these industry professionals? It's the guy who he listens to the bands a lot. There's no actual qualification there or experience or anything. So anyway, once you've done the 6 months worth of gigs, then the semi-finals, I believe, were in London, which is great for us because it meant we didn't have to travel. But people from like Liverpool had to come down to London, so it meant that they had a long journey as well. But anyway, so then the semi-finals got through that to then the finals, which held at the O2 in London, and that's where we finally finished third out of tens of thousands of bands, which is great. So I have played a lot, but like I said, unfortunately, it doesn't pay playing original music. So when we went out and gigged, people don't go out to watch original bands either. So it means that we were going for as long as possible, earning our money with our jobs, because I was teaching guitar when I wasn't playing, and using that money to pay for rehearsals and pay for petrol to get to and from the gigs. And eventually, especially with a couple of the guys who lived in London, they just couldn't afford their rent anymore because it's just all outgoings. So they said, look, we can't do the band thing anymore because we can't afford our rent. So then it was me and Griff, and then Griff gave up as well. I said, because he was in a relationship at the time and had other things going on, so he was kind of giving up on the music thing. So then it was just me. So I decided, well, why don't I just take everything online and see how it goes. I mean, it just so happens that after that, then I still have played live, and got the guys together, and we did a live stream. Before live streaming was so commonplace, we did it to, I think 24 different countries, something like that, something crazy. But we did a live stream gig, so I did exactly what you were suggesting there, Les, and I sometimes play those videos on these live streams. So if you keep on watching, I'm sure that you'll see one of those performances at some point. But thank you for that, Les. And Colleen has donated $20. Thank you for that, Colleen. The message is, Wings of Pegasus, could you analyse an early date Cliff Richard's singing to a newer one? I'd really like to see how much his voice has changed. And that's Colleen's first donation in the Super Chat window. So thank you for that, because it's a big number 1 next to it. And the only problem with Cliff's stuff is copyright blocks, because I did one on Cliff before and it got copyright blocked, and I tried to re-edit it, but then it still got blocked. Then I tried to do another one on Cliff, or I should say Sir Cliff, and that got blocked, and I tried to re-edit it. So unfortunately there are particular artists that have this policy where and it does differ. There might be some people in the USA that can use particular videos and songs and either analyze them or react to them, but because the copyright law is different from one location to the next, it's all regional. It means that sometimes, and most of the time in the UK, something will get blocked that isn't blocked in other places. And I get this from people saying, oh, why don't you do this video? It is safe because this person's done it on their channel, and the person's channel is in the USA and they're American, and that's why they can do it, because it's regional and the laws are different for the UK. So sometimes a record label will say in the region of the USA it's fine, it just gets copyright claimed and not blocked, but anything overseas, if it's going to be used in another country and shown, as on my channel is from the UK, so it means that there will be things that get blocked. And unfortunately Cliff is one of those that is just an artist that is really difficult to look at because of the block. And it's not even blocking just the imagery, which is something that happens where I then don't show the video and just get the voice up on screen. It's the audio, it's just literally the voice. So the algorithm will know that that's Cliff Richard's voice and it'll just get blocked. So it means that I can't show the video, and we can't analyze it, unfortunately. But that's a bit of a shortcoming in the way that the copyright claims and copyright blocks go through, because everything that I do is fair use. It's the very definition of fair use, because I'm analysing it. I'm transforming the vocal into something that we can see on screen, and we can gain a deeper appreciation of, which is what fair use is all about. But sadly, there's no way for that to be policed effectively, because it's a matter of opinion, really. It's down to a judge to decide, and that's the only thing that can decide. So yeah, unfortunately, that those copyright blocks are going to be happening continuously, unless Sir Cliff or his team decide to have a little bit of a, I don't know, an easier way to access Sir Cliff's songs and analyze them and kind of feature them. But anyway, thank you for that, Colleen. There has been another donation on PayPal, and Lynn has donated £57 and 28 pence. So thank you for that, Lynn. The message is, Phil, new episode of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Following tonight's live stream, they need to speed up the narrative. Drip, drip, drip. Now, I was under the impression, because maybe there's a huge delay, but we've only, I say recently, maybe time's just moving really quickly, but I thought that maybe it's going to be until the end of the year, and maybe this is how long we have to wait to get it in the UK. So I don't know which series that is, but I've seen series, and here it's called The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. I've seen the 4th series, or at least if there is a 4th series, I've seen the last one of that. So I think that's how many there have been. So if it's a 5th series, then that will be new. And now I have to wait for however many months till the end of the year to see what it's all about. But that would be the bonus of me living in the USA. I'd get, The Curse or The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch exactly when they come out. But yeah, there's a huge delay, unfortunately, to see it here in the UK. But thank you for that, Lynn. And we have to jump into tonight's cover video. And by the way, if you can hit that thumbs up, that'd be great. We're now looking for 19 more people to get a new record for tonight's live stream to hit 475. And then we're going to be having a Phil Jam at the end of the live stream. And the end of the live stream is coming up in about 20 minutes. So we've got to get a move on. But yeah, maybe we can find, 17 more people. If you can hit that thumbs up, that would be massively appreciated. We are going to... Oh, and Barbara said... Oh, this... Barbara is, I think, talking to Colleen here in the live chat room and says, there are 2 analysis videos on Cliff, not blocked. Just search Wings Pegasus Cliff Richard. So thank you for that. Yeah, like I said, the ones that got blocked, I tried to edit them in any way possible so that they didn't get blocked. And yeah, sometimes it's just a case of just looking at the voice and listening to the voice, but still it's always random. Like sometimes even the voice gets blocked. So yeah, it's good that there are 2 that have actually stayed up and are okay. But anyway, let's get into what is it going to be. It's going to be Miles Away. Finally, it has won the vote. And it's been many weeks trying, but we are going to be having a listen to my version of the Winger classic. I mean, it is a classic if you're a Winger fan. I know not a lot of people will necessarily know Winger and their songs, and Kip Winger and Red Beach and yeah, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, here's my version of it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock! Okay, so quick introduction to this next video. This is more of a tribute video to Kip Winger, as I've been to see Kip in London and with his band, Winger, numerous times, and once I even went to France just to watch Winger. So this is my tribute, and it's me playing and singing Miles Away, and I hope you like it. See you later. Rock! So this is love, also you tell me, as you're walking out the door. Months go by and I know for certain it's not the love I'm looking for. Sometimes, just for a moment, I reach out and hope you're still there. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had, just when I needed you most.
inside of you. Open your heart and chances are what you're feeling, I'm feeling too. If only just for a moment, hold on to the dreams that we had. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away. When times were tough, you were down and out. Who was there by your side? Now you're gone, I'm so tired of being alone with only your promises. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles and miles away. No, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles
And there we have it. That was my version of Miles Away. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm laughing because at the end of that video, I know that I have to cut off the end of it, or at least it goes on for a little bit longer. I don't know what happens at the end because I give it an introduction, so it can't be like an outro. But anyway, I cut off the video, but because I wasn't really concentrating, in fact, and you know, this is just a window to my life, while that song was playing, I was answering a comment on YouTube. Somebody's asking me something about a Judy Garland video, so just answered that while I had the time to do it. I should have really been focusing on the Phil Jam because we are going to be having that. We have hit the target, so thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. But the reason that I was laughing was because I wasn't really concentrating because I was on my phone and I knew that I had to cut that video off quickly. So because I wasn't really thinking, I almost clicked on the end stream button because it said end. And of course my brain was thinking, yeah, I've got to end this video so that we can get into the next bit. I almost cancelled the whole stream. So that's why I should just concentrate on one thing at a time. So the one thing we're going to be concentrating on now is the Phil Jam. So yeah, again, thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. If you want to keep on doing that, if you're watching this on catch up in the future, you can hit that thumbs up. It really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow. And if you are a Facebook user, by the way, you can get over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page and you can join in there if you want to. That's where a lot of the folks in the live chat room hang out between live streams. So yeah, you can join in there. And picture corner, let's jump into that very quickly. That's one thing that I think my brain was trying to tell me that we'd forgotten to do. So we just have one picture for tonight, and here we have Dawn, and this is Dawn with my main man Taj Farrant on the left hand side. In fact, I was talking to Brandon today, which is Taj's dad. So yeah, Taj is a friend of the channel, of course Brandon is as well, and yeah, I'm very lucky because I get to have an inside line to what Taj is up to and his new music and the songs that he's writing and all that kind of stuff. But here is Dawn with her Wings of Pegasus t-shirt with Taj, and I think Taj now, I mean, he went through a growth spurt when he was on tour, but now Brandon says that, I mean, Brandon's 6'1", and Taj, I think, is about 6 foot now, something like that. So, yeah, he's just, and he's got huge hands. Yeah, he's just definitely changed a lot from, when was it, like 6 years ago? This is another thing that Brandon and I were talking about, like going back to, I think it's Tennessee Whiskey, or one of the videos that I looked at, yeah, it's 6 or 7 years ago. It's just crazy. But it would have been when Taj was, what, 9? So yeah, maybe, what, 6 years? Maybe 5 or 6 years. Anyway, thank you, Dawn, for sending this in. And yeah, the message with this that Laura has just linked me to just says that she's wearing the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt, of course. So thank you for sending this one in. And that is the only picture for tonight's Picture Corner. So let's get rid of that. Let's stop my elevator music that I played on the Mugabe, by the way. Right, Phil Jam. Microphone on, which is good. And clicking, right, that's ready to go over there, I believe. Now, as for the levels, we always, zoom out. As for the levels, we never know really what's going on. We have the Strat tonight. Joe says Strat clean. Yeah, volume pedal wah. Times has an end. Lively. Channel your Pat Metheny. Don't forget amp mic. So I've done that. Right, so I'm going to click on this and we're going to...
Welcome to Reverb. If it's music gear...
Welcome to Reverb. This is the dude. This is the dude from the advert that I just said. He always goes into Vocal Fry.
It's here.
If it's music, it's here. It's here.
Shop for musical instruments from local music shops across the UK.
Across the UK. It's like, ugh. So anyway, there you go. There's my proof. Anyway, we're going to skip that. For more reasons than just skipping it, just to stop the guy doing the... I don't know why that kind of just gets stuck in my ears, Vocal Fry, when somebody's talking like that. So, anyway, guitar on, I think. Oh, right. So this is Modern Jazz Fusion Jam Track in C minor, Supernova, BJT, #38. So that's the name of this video, and this is coming from Ben's Jam Tracks, and that's exactly what it sounds like, with a space and capital letters where you would expect them. And yeah, this is it. Okay, right. So let's see what happens. Because yeah, I don't really play jazz. Jazz fusion, especially when you're doing it on the fly, jazz is not the style to be attempting to play. But anyway, we'll have a go, see what happens. Right, let's have a listen. And the levels, I don't know what they're going to sound like, so let me know in the live chat room if you can. And right, I've just played it clean. Whoa! This is lively. Oh, I have zoomed out for that. Where's this going? Okay. It doesn't really sound clean. It sounds a little bit more, at least I want to do it like this. Still haven't got that bit down yet. Oh, let's get a little bit of this. Okay. Oh, how long is this? Oh, we've got like 1 minute left. Oh, that's the end. Oh, to be fair there, I was waiting for it to, I should have known it wasn't going to kind of resolve back to the C minor. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. So that's why I kind of got caught out. What do I end on? Doing some hammer-ons and pull-ups. So anyway, there we have it. That was Modern Jazz Fusion Jam Track in C minor Supernova BJT #38. So yeah, I mean that's a title as complicated as the progression. I mean, yeah, I mean it's interesting, especially I don't know what we had going on there. Kind of really chromatic rundown. Anyway, let me make that clean. So yeah. Good stuff. And this is the thing about the fill jams. We just load up the song, see what it is, or load up the backing track. And thank you, Joe, for linking me to that one, and to you guys for giving us an attempt at some modern jazz fusion tonight. So thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Of course, you can keep on doing that in the future if you want to. That would be great, because it'll get us to not only the target. And this is the thing, when I say about hitting the thumbs up in the future, obviously Saturday we're going to be going for new record, and it means that we're going to be going for new record next Tuesday as well. So if you could all tune in again, that'd be great. Because right at the end of the live stream there, we just got enough to tip it, to kind of tip the balance in the favour of the Phil Jam. So thank you guys for doing that. Right. Oh, Tutora Porco has donated $5. Thank you for that. And just seeing the message, it says, it is appropriate you played the Strat as it's the 70th birth date of the Stratocaster. So thank you for that, Totoro Porco. And again, I mean, I didn't see anybody say that the levels were rubbish, but then again, I was trying to hear what was going on. This is the problem, when there are changes that you're not expecting, especially in jazz, you're going to get that. Well, technically, you're not going to be playing over changes that you haven't already rehearsed and everybody knows that's what's going to happen. That's the difference. But because I was trying to listen in for that, I wasn't necessarily paying too much attention about the levels. So hopefully it was all right. I could hear everything fine here. Just listening out for that backing track. So we are going to be calling it to a close. There's going to be another video coming your way tomorrow night, of course, so look out for that. Another video on Friday night, and I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday night, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, same place. That's where I will be. If you can join me, that would be great, because we'll be going for a new record then as well. So that's all that's left for me to say. Oh, by the way, I think we did have another donation in PayPal. Before we finish, Lynn has donated £5. Again, thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, Season 5 for Skinwalker Ranch started April 23rd, 2024 in the US. Secret, not curse here. So thank you for that, Lynn. So it is Season 5, which is good. I can look forward to that later on in the year. But thank you for clarifying as well. And, Jan has donated 20 Norwegian kroner. So thank you for that, Jan. And the message is, very nice Phil, Jam, Phil. So thank you for that, Jan. And, when there are a lot of changes, I think all you can do is just try and, play the notes that you can hear. We'll try and go with it. But, of course, as soon as the change happens, then the note you're now on is potentially irrelevant. But you've got to hear what the next chord is before you can then sing anything else over the top or play anything over the top. You've got to hear it first. So, when there are changes that are kind of difficult and sudden, and you don't know they're going to happen, you can't kind of wait for them because you don't know they're going to happen. You just got to end up with what you're on and then try and make the best of it. So anyway, yes, I'm going to be here Saturday night, 11 p.m. All that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!